So what are you working on today?
Some maintenance parts.
All right.
So these rotary atomizer assemblies were kind of loose. The one machine we didn't have a problem with, but the other one, it just seemed like right from the very beginning, they were always wobbly and having a tendency to loosen up. So
Right.
I did find the one was cross-threaded, like this aluminum nut piece here
Okay.
that threads up into the motor. So I ordered both of those to replace on this particular drone, and right away it seemed to help. So this is the old pieces, which are two components, a nut and then this adapter tube they call it. So I obviously I had to drop the whole nozzle assembly down and disassemble it up here, but I have everything back together and tightened up, and they are much better. You know, they're designed to have a little bit of wiggle, but they were just practically loosening up and falling off. So
Right.
so yeah, so we didn't want to have any issues related to that. So
This is a nice little cart you're using.
yes, Harbor Freight was on sale. So
It was on sale.
it was on sale. I
Yep.
was hoping to get the little bit heavier duty, the poly one, but it was more money, and I thought for what we're using it for. So
Right.
this turned out very well. So it kind of gives you a kind of a shelf that you can set the drone on and raise it up, and then you're not bending over.
Sure.
And workspace to set tools and parts. And so I've got my parts on the bottom and my tools in the middle, and it's actually
perfect.
working out very well to keep everything organized. So that,
Even the nice little handles, you wheel it around and keep it
Yeah.
out of the way in the garage here.
yeah, I pulled the van out of the garage so I had more room, but it is nice. I can just fold it up, keep it on the cart, and wheel it out of the way.
Yep. You know how we like those Harbor Freight specials, so
Yeah.
it really was a good price for what it was. Do you remember? I think you had a coupon, but do you remember what the price was on it?
I thought that I got it for like $75.
Okay.
It's regularly like around $100.
Not bad. Now we just need to get a second one, so this one's not sitting on the floor.
Yeah, but I can only work on one at a time.
That's true.
So far I found everything on these machines to be very, very serviceable. So they're scary to look at first, but once you tear into them and take them apart, and you can get every single piece essentially down to the nut and bolt, then it's just a matter of getting it done.
So what are the other things that you need to keep an eye on to maintain?
Yeah, I'll go over that. I'm just finishing up these top covers here. So I've got this upper assembly back together, the wiring and the plumbing, and this is just a foam cover that kind of covers everything. And I'm gonna finish up these here, the centrifugal nozzle assemblies, the rotary atomizers. So these go on here, the plumbing comes down, sprays into there, and then this is the disc that spins. So these are all of those components. So we can see we're going to be replacing the atomizer discs. These are all gunked up. I'll either try to clean those up or replace them, because this part needs to come up on here and seal. And I think that's why we're having an issue with them dripping, is we're getting buildup on here
Okay.
and not getting a good seal. And then we've got junk inside of here build up. So I just ordered 4 new of these. We're going to put those on,
Okay.
and I'll clean these up as spares. So that's something to be mindful, because this is a key item that creates your spray pattern. So you want to be mindful of that. I'll fold this out and go over a couple other things, but I just want to make sure it doesn't tip off this cart, because So this is the main frame of the unit without the spray tank or the spreader assembly in there. So there's not a whole lot. We want to make sure our camera rotates freely, so you'll find that that'll get jammed up from spreading seed get in there. But obviously the main thing to keep an eye on are the propellers. They do have a life expectancy, and that's stated in the operator's manual how many flight hours. Those should be discarded, but normally we're just looking for damage, and we had some that didn't look so good, so we had them replaced. We got them replaced. But the other thing is too, if you can get a close-up here, we'll go like this, are these what they call propeller gaskets, these little white washers. It's actually like a 3-piece washer on the top and the bottom. It's a plastic piece with like some silicone in between, and it actually creates a kind of like a friction cushion that keeps the propellers tight. So those seem to be, you can see this one right here, there's kind of you know, the center plastic is coming out of there. So
Sure.
that's a key thing you want to keep an eye on, because as those deteriorate, they will loosen up the propellers. So, and you can't always just tighten the screws. You can as a temporary fix, but once you break the thread sealing of the thread locker on the screws, then they may have a tendency to come loose. So you're better off to just take those off, replace those, and re-Loctite the screws so that way you're tight. The other thing on the chassis of the drone, here are the 3 weight sensors, which come as an assembly, all 3 sensors and the wire, but we don't seem to have any issues with those. They seem to be working well. Here's the power supply from the battery. Just want to make sure we don't have any corrosion, bent prongs, or anything there. Other than that, the unit itself, mainly other than the motors, make sure the motors are rotating freely and the propellers are in good shape, and the propeller gaskets are in good shape and doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that they're not completely crushed and gone out of there. Those are the main items. Obviously the nozzles here on the back arms. So we'll come over here to kind of the other part of it, which is nice because if it's a self-contained unit on the spray tank, so the spray tank just has one plug and then it comes out, and on the spray tank is the filter assembly, which we have a couple of new filters, new O-rings. So here we have our suction, we have our screen, and then we have 2 pumps. So this is actually the pump assembly. We can see we've got some buildup and junk inside there, but overall it seems to rotate and work well. And then it's a magnetic connection. It's a magnetic connection that drives it. So this is the pump motor. So we got one of these on each side. So I'm just disassembling and cleaning. We don't have any issues with any of these. So just disassembling, cleaning, resealing with new O-rings, and we'll put that back together. Flow meter, I really don't want to get into that. So just as long as it was flushed well and it's working well, we're just going to leave it be. I don't want to get into the mechanics of that. Unless we seem to be getting some erratic readings, and then we'll probably have to replace it. But at this point, no issues, and everything we've done, we haven't had any issues. The only problem when we get an erratic reading from our flow meter is when our screens are plugged up. So, and obviously it's doing what it's supposed to be doing and telling you you're not getting the flow. So
Sure.
Other than that, just this main area here for the pumps and the filter, where we were going to be cleaning, inspecting, and reassembling. And then kind of the last thing on our list was these are going to be starting here sooner. This spring is our, here we go, now you can see the gap, our spreader discs. So this is an assembly And this all goes on here, and then your spreader disc. So this is actually upside down, this unit is. And I'm disassembling this, and we're going to be using our small gate. This is what they call the large gate. And what they do is they have the small gate, which has a small, the hole size is half as small, so, or maybe less than that. So it has a long strip this way to get more flow, but then for small seed, it can better regulate.
Sure.
So
You gonna be doing any spreading?
we have some guys interested, and we're kind of just waiting on the weather. So here very soon we'll be doing some frost seeding, hopefully some clover. So into some pasture to kind of green up the pasture, and then also some cover crop aspects. So once we're done with spreading, they're all done, ready to go for spraying. I guess something I didn't overlook, but I didn't mention, was on the main frame of the drone, you want to just confirm your latches. You know, they're a big safety aspect. So
Sure.
you can see we got some dirt and dust in there, but you want to make sure that when they come out, you're not getting any binding in your wiring or your plumbing in the back, that it comes home and seats fully, and then that the latch comes in with a snap, and that's what holds it. So obviously they just pop out and they come around and lock in. So you can adjust these hex shafts here for an adjustment to get a good snap action, so that way they're not loose. So a little rundown of our DJI Agris T40s. So we're excited to get them in the air, using them again. Very good machines. We're still excited to see what's new and upcoming, but we're very excited to still be using the T40s.
They pulled their weight last summer.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. That's for sure. So I'll check in with you later if I've got anything new and exciting.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Later.
See ya.
You know what I think people would like to hear about?
What's that?
The prices that we charge.
The prices that we charge?
Well, a lot of guys ask about it. Oh, what are you charging cover crop, or what are you charging for, fungicide on corn? And I think that would make a good video.